Sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do in a relationship. Relationships can be hard work, and we all have doubts as to whether or not it's the real thing. Sometimes it's not enough that we love each other because other things can get in the way. The way I think of it is this: a relationship is like a car. If one part is broken, you have to diagnose the problem, work on it to put things right, and decide if it's worth the cost of fixing. It won't run smoothly unless you sort things out. If your car has turned to an old banger, then maybe it's time to throw it on the scrap heap. But if you're not sure about whether to give the relationship more time to see if things get better or cut loose before it gets worse, then let me help you out. When you imagine your world a year, 2 years, or even 5 years from now, do you see your partner in it? If the answer is no, then it's unlikely that the relationship is right for you in the long run. It doesn't matter if you don't know the details of what the future will look like. You don't have to have it all mapped out already. The main thing is to think about whether you would still want your partner to be in your life at those points in the future. If the answer is yes, then you know that you don't want them to go anywhere, despite having concerns. You might have some things to work on, but ultimately you want your relationship to last. Now, I want you to try and think back to when you started feeling conflicted about your relationship. Is it a recent thing, or have doubts been creeping in for a while? Has there been a change in your lives that is starting to affect your relationship? Or was there something your partner did or said that made you consider how compatible you really are? Identifying when you started feeling differently towards your partner can help you understand how best to move forward. If you can trace it back to something they said that you didn't agree with, this might be a conversation you need to return to in order to address an unresolved issue. If your feelings have been fading for a little while, it's helpful to try to understand where your physical or emotional attractions to your partner has changed to work out if it can be saved. Taking the time to pinpoint when things start to change for you can be a way to better understanding your feelings and help reconcile yourself to whatever choice you decide to make. You probably had goals and aspirations you wanted to achieve before you met your partner, and as amazing as being in a relationship can be, it doesn't come without compromises and sacrifices. It's not uncommon to find your personal aspirations pushed aside in favour of your relationship's future. Letting go of your own goals could be causing underlying resentment towards your partner. Speaking about your personal aspirations outside of your relationship might be something you've hesitated doing with your partner, being unsure how they would react. But they might surprise you with how supportive they are of you achieving your own dreams, even if it means taking time away from your relationship. You don't know unless you talk to them about it. If it's something that's eating away at your conscience and is affecting your relationship, you have nothing to lose by bringing it up. Trust is an integral part of successful relationships. If you don't trust each other, then there's little chance your relationship will survive long term. Ask yourself if you have any reasons not to feel secure in your relationship. If you're feeling secure, then you will start to put up emotional barriers against your partner to protect yourself from getting hurt. All this does is put distance between you. Think about whether there's any real reason to distrust your partner. If they do something that triggers you, it might be unintentional, so just talk to them about it. If you've been hurt in a relationship before, it can be hard not to let this influence how you're feeling now. But don't let a bad experience from your past ruin your chance for happiness in the future. If you're saying things like, "but when it's good, it's really good," then you're right to be questioning your relationship. Those alarm bells are going off in your head are going off for a reason, and it's time to listen to them. Every relationship has its ups and downs, but you shouldn't be living for the few good moments among the bad. However good you might feel when things are going well, if they don't outweigh the bad times, then it's not going to be enough to keep this relationship strong. The relationship will eventually become toxic and emotionally exhausting. There's a reason you're feeling uncertain, and it's because you know this isn't healthy. You deserve to be with a partner who brings out the best in you at all times, so find the courage to make your happiness your priority and leave this relationship behind. You have to be willing to take your partner as they are if you're invested in this relationship. Yes, you can grow together as a couple, but expecting something to change, something fundamental about themselves, is entirely different. People don't tend to change, even if they're trying to make you happy. It's not hard to slip into old ways. If you're waiting for it to happen, then you'll constantly be left disappointed, and it's not fair on either of you. If you aren't prepared to take each other exactly as you are now, then you should try to find a relationship where you can both be accepted without having to be something that you're not. Have you had a previous relationship where you felt similar doubts? Do you always reach a certain point and get cold feet? If you're feeling as though you want to bolt and you've felt this way before, you could be reliving a reoccurring pattern that you're not aware of. If you are, it's time to break the cycle. If you really want a long-term relationship, you have to conquer whatever fear it is that's holding you back from committing. Identifying what it is that makes you want to pull back from a partner is the first step in overcoming these mental barriers. So persevere and face your fears. Your future self will thank you for it. If you're questioning your relationship but haven't broken up already, what's really stopping you? Is it the idea of not being with your partner that's holding you back? Or is it the idea of going through a breakup and being single that stops you from cutting ties? Breakups are tough, there's no denying it, but staying in a relationship just because you don't want to be single or go through the pain of breaking up with someone isn't the answer either. In the end, your hurt will only be worse as your relationship drags on. Only you can decide if you really want to be with this person. And if you know you don't, it's better for all involved to end it sooner rather than later, no matter how scary it seems. Sexual chemistry is a big part of successful, healthy relationships. If things are going wrong in the bedroom, they're probably going wrong elsewhere too. As much as life gets in the way, it's important to always find time to keep your sex life thriving. Sex is an intimate connection between only you and your partner. It's a chance for both of you to get close and reaffirm your love and trust for each other. If you're feeling dissatisfied, try taking the lead in bringing new ideas to the bedroom to recapture some passion. There is a wealth of inspiration out there, depending on how adventurous you are. Don't give up just yet. Take some control and see if you can reignite the fire. You might be feeling as though the spark has gone from your relationship and you want your partner to be more invested again. But while you're waiting for your partner to do more to show you that they care, can you say that you've been making the effort from your side too? It's easy to get so wrapped up in everything that's missing from our relationship that sometimes we don't realise that we're just as guilty for not making the effort to keep the flame alive. When was the last time you got dressed up for each other or surprised them with a romantic date? The success of a relationship depends on two people, and it takes effort from both of you to keep it strong. Make sure you can say that you've done everything to try to make things work before deciding to end anything. It's normal to have moments where you question if your relationship is still the right choice for you. We grow and we change over time, and sometimes the person who was right for you a year ago isn't the person who is right for you in the next stage of your life. Evaluating your relationship shows that you are taking it seriously by making sure you are still the best people for each other. If you're feeling conflicted, then it's best not to make any sudden decisions. Think about some changes you can make or conversations you need to have to give your relationship the best chance of recovery. If you've done all you can to make the relationship work and it's still not enough, then you can be at peace with your decision to move on. Alright guys, that's it for today. If you need any more advice, check out our playlist. One is aimed at relationships, another one is aimed at dating, and we have also stripped down versions of certain topics. Alternatively, you can always binge watch our shorts for some quick advice too. If you need pro help, a good place to start is our counselling service, the link for which you'll find in the description below. Whatever you are looking for, whether it's a relationship advice or dating and love tips or consolation, our counselling service is almost always better than venting to your friends or family, people who will almost certainly add fuel to the fire because of their feelings and protectiveness over you. If you guys want to share your experience and frustration or just need some quick advice, you know what to do. Write it down into the comment sections. Share the video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.